After just installing the new inner wheel wells for the SCX10, I think it's time to dress them up, or dress this area up, with some brand new shocks. After having recently built these shocks, they're fairly new. You may be wondering why I want to change them. There's a few reasons why. First off, they look okay, they don't look amazing, and this is actually a fake reservoir. Now these are icon shocks, actual icon shocks, and these were the stock ones that came with the kit. And whilst I thought they were a true reservoir, they're actually fake. This is just a screw-on plastic attachment with a sticker on it. They look okay, but I don't think they look fantastic. They've got like a dual spring system, specially coated shock shaft. The rest of it's plastic, pretty much. Got an aluminium body, but the rest is plastic. I built them the proper way with the stock O-rings and everything like that. I put oil on the O-rings to make sure that when the shaft went through them, it didn't damage them in any way. Even with all the sort of preparation work I did with them, they still leaked. Pretty much as soon as I got them on the truck and left them on there, they started leaking straight away. So I rebuilt them with bigger O-rings in this bottom section here, with oversized O-rings, and whilst they're not leaking, their shocks perform terribly. They're really notchy. So I can now pick this up. So if I just lift that up, you can see it's not drooping at all. You have to actually break the seal on the O-ring, and then it'll move, because the O-ring is pressing onto that shock shaft so much that it has to get past a certain point to break the seal, and then it'll move. So the shocks are very notchy and they don't feel particularly great. They still compress quite nicely, but that's only after they've been used a couple of times. So I do want to change them out to some nicer ones and get a true reservoir system in there. Not particularly impressed with these icon shocks, and currently on Model Sport they are about £45 for a set of two, which I think is a ridiculous price considering how terrible they are, and the fact that they've got a fake reservoir system. It's not even a real reservoir system in there. So yeah, very disappointing shocks, and I recommend you not getting a set of these. Here are the new shocks by Gmade, same company that built the wheels, the beadlock wheels that I've got on there. But yeah, Gmade RSD 100mm piggyback shocks, RSD scale piggyback shock silver. So we obviously have a bottle of oil, fairly light oil there, and you'll see why in a minute. We've obviously got a set of springs. These are the aluminium bodies of the reservoir and the main compartment of the shock. I have the shock shafts, and we have stickers again, but they look a bit better than the icon ones. Got shiny silver on them, so this should match the anodized aluminium parts. A few springs and things like that. These are, from what I can read, they're Delrin adjusters, spring tension adjusters, which is really nice, machine Delrin. We've got some very nice ball ends there, some red anodized aluminium ball ends, and the O-rings, so hopefully they're going to be a good fit. Pistons, the plastic parts, and they're the reservoir caps, or the bottom of the shock caps, I'm not quite sure yet. And also the instructions. So the piggyback pressure setting. So the actual piggyback part, where some of the excess oil goes, you can tighten or loosen it to increase the pressure in the shock chamber. Call it that, shock chamber. So if you tighten it, it'll increase the pressure in the shock chamber, giving you a stiffer suspension setup. You can loosen it and have a really soft suspension setup, which is really, really cool. So it means you don't have to change the oil weights or anything like that. You can do it all by this reservoir here, which is really, really good, or the piggyback system. Now I've done many shock builds on the channel, pretty much one for every build that I've done. So I'm not going to be doing a step-by-step guide of how to build these shocks. I'm going to do it all off camera and then show you what we get at the end. It's just, I've done so many on the channel, and I'm pretty much bored of doing shock builds on the channel, especially step-by-step guides. So if I run into anything difficult or anything interesting, I'll film. But other than that, the next clip you're going to see is these all finished up. So it's going to take me a while, and I'm in the middle of watching the touring car at the moment. So yeah, no shock building, but you'll see the final result about now. All done, went fairly well. Instructions are easy enough to understand, but they look really, really nice. A lot more simple, a lot more plain than the Axial one, so I'm looking forward to seeing what they look like on the truck. The red ball end looks really good as well. Anodized aluminium ball end, it's very nice. Got them all feeling roughly the same, so the compression and rebound is all roughly the same on all of them, which I'm happy about. The piggyback system was fairly simple to put together. So yeah, now it's time to put them on the truck. But I'll take one off the SCX10 and we'll compare them side by side just to have a look at the differences. side by side, you can see there's quite a bit of difference. And the right one looks a lot more premium, it's a lot simpler, but looks a lot more premium, a lot better quality product, and obviously it's got a true reservoir system, whereas this is just a fake screw-on part. You can see the size difference straight away. This one measures 90mm and that one's 100 from eyelet to eyelet. But yeah, I think they look a lot better, and I'm going to get them installed on the truck. Now, because these are bigger, these are 10mm bigger, it's obviously going to drop the axles down by 10mm. But what we can do is we can set it to compress down to what it was before, and then we've got an extra 10mm of suspension drop for articulation purposes, or we can set it to full length, maximum height, and then we've got obviously extra travel in the suspension as well. So we can set it up either way. There's two ways of setting it up, but we'll see what it looks like at full height first. 10mm extra height difference, and then we can always droop it down and see what kind of articulation we get. With the shocks installed, you can see it's sitting a lot higher, obviously 10mm higher, because they're the shocks are 10mm bigger than the stock Icon ones. So it's got a real sort of height to it now, which I'm not mad keen on. I want to drop it a little bit, but the height is a bit better. But I messed up with the stickers. You can see the sticker on here, but you can't actually see the text. I messed up placing those on, so I'm going to take those off and get some different ones and put those on, just so you got a bit of text, a bit of an accent feature on the shocks. But yeah, they look good. Quite impressed, but I do want to lower it a little bit, so I'm going to mess around with the springs, because these, you can see these are wound up all the way, so that's the softest, or that's about where the shock's going to sit without any adjustment. So even if I tighten that down, it's just going to get stiffer and stiffer, and it's just going to stay in the same place. So I need to get some softer springs or some shorter springs, so the suspension will just droop down a little bit, so it'll sit a little bit lower. So I think I'm going to utilise the springs from the old shocks, put those in, and see what kind of height we can get. I just want to drop it a little bit, maybe 5mm, something like that, just so it drops down a little bit and doesn't look like a massive monster truck. But yeah, I like them. Haven't seen if they're leaking yet, but when I take them off and mess around with the spring rates, I'm sure I'll find any leaks or any problems. A few days later, it's all done, all ready to go. So you can see the old shocks here. I've had to scavenge a few parts. Those are the small springs. These are Axial's Super Soft, because they've got the red thing. Or yeah, Super Soft for springs. They're going to go on the drift car, so they're going to go to good use. I've put the Gmade RSD springs on the shocks. I've taken out all the ball ends, but I can always put some back in. But these are going to be basically my spares. I'm going to have a couple of shocks for spares, and then a couple are going to go on the lunchbox, because they're 90mm, so they'll fit on the rear axle, and they'll look a bit different. They look actually a lot better with stock black springs and black all around, but yeah, look very nice. So in there you can see I've got the Axial's soft springs that came from the original shocks. They're currently in use, and you can see I've actually got a bit of a gap between the spring and the spring retentioner, so that allows it to drop down about 10mm. So I've got it pretty much the same ride height as what I had before, but I've got an extra 10mm of travel distance in the front and the back, so you can see it squats down, so there's a bit of a axle droop there. So I'm going to see how it performs. It's not an ideal setup, but I'm going to see how it performs, and then we can change it around later on. But as you can see, articulation, got quite a lot of articulation, just about there. It's about 4.5 inches, which is really good. So yeah, all done, looking really nice underneath the wheel wells. So I've obviously got to I've screwed up putting the stickers on, so I've got some other stickers on the way. But yeah, looking really nice in there now with the wheel wells and the new shocks. Sorry, squeaky chair. But yeah, looking really nice in there. So that's it for upgrades for the moment. I've got some custom ones that I want to do, like door bars and the roof, the aluminium skin roof. But other than that, that's it for upgrades for now. I'm going to take it out hopefully to the Scale Nationals in Derby at Brackham Rocks this weekend. Well, tomorrow as I'm filming this. But yeah, that's it for upgrades for now. Thank you very much for watching. If you want to check out the Facebook and Twitter pages, links are down below in the description box, and I shall see you next time on RC Projects.